Start. Good evening, friends. Thank you to be with us at such a short notice and on a weather in which you would much rather be out and enjoying yourself.
Having pakoras and
We have we have very fast and short session because we know that you will have to go and file your stories also, and sir is also expected in another meeting very shortly. So we will have this quick briefing today on a subject that we have shared with you. Uh, Food Secretary sir and CMD FCI, both of them are with us, and I request sir to kindly make the statement, and we can take a few questions. But again, we have a very short time at our disposal. Thank you.
ठीक है I think बाद में देख लेते हैं जरूरत पड़ेगी friends, first of all, thanks to all of you for having trudged up to Krishi Bhavan on this not so not so perfect day weather-wise. The idea was actually just to clarify a couple of things because we felt that a wrong narrative has been created in the country, which we thought we must be correcting, and that's the reason why we thought we will bother you and have a short interaction. So first of all, I think this issue with regard to the OMSS and the sale of rice to certain states or lack of it. So first of all, I think I'd like to clarify that this is something which is being done in the larger interest of the country and the 140 crore population. In case you were to put yourself in my shoes, you would agree that in case I have some surplus stocks, I should use it for the benefit and the welfare of the 140 crore population and not for a particular section or for a particular class of people. That is the perspective with which we came out with this policy, that keeping in view the fact that there is a shortage of rice stock vis-a-vis the past 2 years. The rice stocks are down about 13% compared to what they were about 2 years back. Keeping in view the fact that there is a El Nino, there is a possibility that we may have some weather disruptions which would lead to reduction in the supply of rice. Keeping in view the fact that the supply or the procurement of wheat has not been as per the target, and as a result of which we are substituting more of rice compared to what we have in the past. So more rice is being given so that the food grain requirement of the people is met. Then the issue was that whether we should be using this stock for the retail operations in order to correct the market price, or should we be supplementing the allotment to certain states for giving more quantity to the PMGKY beneficiaries. Now, if you just think about the likely scenario, in case we were to say that, okay, we would allow states which are interested to take 5 kg extra rice so that they can supply it to the PMGKY beneficiaries. 5 kg is being given by the Government of India under PMGKY, 5 kg is being supplemented by some states, and we start allotting those quantities to the states. Our total requirement for PMGKY for a year is about 360 lakh tons of rice. In case I was to assume or take a hypothetical scenario where all states come up with this request, and I have an additional requirement of 360 lakh tons, which makes it 720 lakh tons. My total procurement in any year, this year it will probably be 560 or about 560, 570 lakh tons. So with the 560, 570 lakh tons, I start supplying 720 lakh tons, and I also am unable to meet my buffer. I'm unable to temper the prices. I'm unable to do any kind of retail operations to control the prices. The consequences, I think you can well imagine. Then the other point I'd like to make is that when this issue cropped up, we thought that we must also take the views of the state. So last week we had the Food Ministers Conference, and there were 17 ministers from different states who were present, and except one state, all the other ministers supported the contention of the Union Minister that whatever is the quantity available with the country should be used for the good of the entire population of 140 crore people and not for a certain class of or certain category of population of a particular state or a particular region. So keeping all that in view, this decision was taken, which is in national interest, and I don't think it will be appropriate to ascribe motives or read too much into it, whereas it is totally done on merit. So this is what we wanted to present to you. So if you have a couple of questions, we can answer. Otherwise, we can. This is what I think should be satisfying any doubts that if you may be having in your mind about this operation.
I have a question, sir. It's fine that in the interest of the larger public, this retail sale and OMSS is made. But if there is no offtake, then why to have such a
See,
initiative?
offtake. See, usually FCI does not do routine operation at OMSS for rice.
Yes.
It is primarily done for wheat. So rice is just started. Rice, maybe we expected more. It has not happened. But more than the quantity, I think what we have to understand is the signal which the government is giving that this quantity is available with us, and we can step in at any point of time to control the prices. So that signal part is what we should be looking at. And this particular operation or OMSS, it is not that we have ended. It is just one round and we have done with it, and now nothing will be done. It will be continued until 31st of March 2024. Every week it is going to happen. And since people are not, maybe they were not aware, so we will find gradually as we go along, people will become aware, they will also start registering, and the quantities will go up gradually. But more than that, the intention was to give a signal to the market that the stock is there with the government and will be used in the interest of the common man to bring down the prices.
So just to add to that, I would also like to say that OMSS is being done in a very particular manner this year. Unlike previous years where bulk quantities used to be given to the big buyers, this year the approach has been that only 100 metric ton is permitted to one buyer in a state. And also the buyers from one state cannot purchase the goods in the other states. Earlier they were allowed to do that. Therefore, you would have seen even in wheat, the offtake is very low. Rice, for the first time we are doing with this much of restrictions where you cannot sell it to the government, you have to use it yourself in the market, you cannot purchase in other states. Therefore, the offtake would be less because the entire purpose is to ensure that retail prices are controlled.
Sir, you see in the first auction, as you see, there will be response from the traders. So, what can be the reason you see the price or there is no demand for the rice, FCA rice?
So as I just mentioned, so this is the first time it has been done in the recent past. So usually we do it for wheat. People, I think, with a lot of publicity which the FCI is already doing, we will find that it will go up in the next round. But as I said, more than that, we should just understand that it is a signal to the market to ensure that there is stock and the government will step in wherever required to bring down the prices. So that signal is most important. And as I said, we have got 9 months to go. This is just first. Every week, every month, there will be 4 auctions. So let's not get too discouraged by one round not getting the.
You would say that if there is no offtake with the retailers, the way this systemized pattern way you're offloading, any plans to tweak the policy and allow wholesalers, because this is for the first time you're doing in rice, unlike wheat, you've experimented with wholesalers now, then you reduce the quantity and encouraging retailers. In case of rice, this is the first time you are doing. Any plans to tweak it and allow and try with wholesalers and then encourage
Or the reduce the price?
reduce the price or quantity increase and allow wholesalers?
So as CMD has mentioned, 100 MT is what we are allowing at
Yes.
present. And these tweaking of the policy is a dynamic, continuous process. As and when we find that there is some requirement, we will tweak the policy to ensure that the policy which is formulated meets the objective.
So you want to wait for a couple of rounds?
We
to see the
will wait and
response
watch.
then
We will wait and watch.
And can you name these states who have supported this, the center's stance?
See, there was
16 states you mentioned.
Which one is not supported, sir?
you know the one which is not supporting.
Karnataka.
Beside the one which is not supporting, the ministers we had were from Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Uttarakhand, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Puducherry, Karnataka, I'm sorry, yeah, Karnataka. Of course, Karnataka was the one which was recommending a change. Then beside that, Nagaland, Manipur, Maharashtra, and Haryana.
So all these food ministers were there and the discussion was in their presence. Sir, there is a bit of a request, sir. The three channels that are here, they want a statement recorded to you with their with the reporter. So if you can spare a time, maybe we can do it together. Hindi,
we can do it
the DD would want Hindi separately and the English would. So at least two bites. Sir.
One more question. If in the first, initially in the press releases, you mentioned that government wants to increase the availability in the market and reduce the retail price. These are the two objectives stated. But without ensuring the offtake, how will you increase the availability?
That is what we've been discussing. That is just the beginning. अभी तो एक ही auction हुआ है. अभी तो 9 महीने पड़े हुए हैं. उसके बाद every week will be, every month there are 4 auctions, and it is just the first thing. Rice is something that we have not been doing regular e-auction of the kind that we do for wheat. So this is just the beginning. We just wait and watch. And of course, speaking of the policy is also an option with the government.
But have you identified any problems with the guidelines that is coming on the way for the poor uptake?
See, abhi to, as I said, we are waiting and watching. So there are options that government has in its hand to let's say exercise in case we have some requirement in the next few rounds. So we are waiting and watching. We don't want to jump the gun and say this is wrong. This is just the first auction.
So government is open to make changes.
Government is always open.
Yeah.
Have you noticed any leakage in the system, because there are those small traders, they are getting the grain through the leakage much cheaper.
Which one? Rice or wheat?
Right, FCI rice. Analyze those things.
They are getting from leakage.
Yeah, recycled rice.
So normally what happens?
No, at this, actually the rate which is there, that has been fixed as the offset price, will not allow you to.
They are getting it through
Even
the leakage
cheaper
even
than-
cheaper than that.
You can tell us instances it has not come to our notice that there is.
You have more intelligence.
The ration card holders, they resell in the open market at a
Yeah.
lesser price and they buy other essential things.
Yeah.
Because if the
From the
quantity is-
existing quantity of
Yes.
5 kg,
Yes.
then if you give 10 kg, they will do it
That has
more.
been, they did it more, sir.
Okay.
Back in it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Sir, one more thing you mentioned about the change in the quantity of rice and wheat.
अपना setup कर लिया?
You will plan to change it further?
It will depend on the availability of wheat. Backlash करेगा ना